great wine. All with Sally James and Steve Andrews. Slow Living Radio on CRN. Animal lovers, it's time for Rescue Radio. And now here are your hosts, Christina Hackett and Chad Atkins.
Welcome to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. We've got Christina here, and hopefully Chad will be coming in soon. So this week has been a crazy week. It's always been incredibly hectic with the holidays, everyone adjusting to the holidays and trying to get pups placed and holiday schedules. So we're all just trying to do what we can to make it right. And then I'm actually running late to get into the studio because there's all these high-ripped trollmen that are destined to make me maintain the speed. So it's been an adventure. So let's see. This week we had New Year's, and it was a matter of keeping all the dogs inside because there are those fireworks that people like to light off, and keeping them safe and indoors. And there are some definitely with anxiety issues as soon as they hear the fireworks. I know my personal girl, Bristol, my little boxer, she also has a tough time with the wind. And so here in Southern California, we had the Santa Ana winds. So she had a pretty tense week between the winds and then the fireworks on New Year's Eve. She was pretty much a little cuddle bug, happy to just stay cuddled up with me, and she didn't want to go outside. She's one of those characters that she doesn't even want to go outside to go potty. She's like, I'd rather stay inside where the wind won't attack me. So, but she's lots of fun. I'll post a picture of her on my Facebook page or on our Facebook page a little bit later today so that you guys can see what she looks like. She's my little doll, my little Bristol. And Bristol, funny story, how her name came about was this was back years ago, and she was in a home with a bunch of Chihuahuas and a Yorkie, and a senior boxer. But then they decided they were going to get a new puppy boxer, so they had 8 Chihuahuas, 2 Yorkies, and a senior boxer, and they decided to add another boxer to the mix. And I was taking care of their dogs, and then these Chihuahuas were vicious to this little puppy boxer. And so then I said to them, it's really not fair, and eventually you're going to have a very mean boxer on your hands because you had these 3-pound Chihuahuas just biting her face and drawing blood. And so I told them, why don't you guys think about it, but maybe I can take her and, I'll find her a really good home. And so while they were gone and on vacation, I took her with me every day because I didn't want to leave her in the home with the mean Chihuahuas. And so I become pretty attached to her, and then I brought her into my home, and I had just started, I put feelers out there and started letting people know I had this boxer puppy. And I kept saying she was a Bristol. For some reason, like, instead of a brindle boxer, which she is, I kept saying she was a Bristol. And so then finally, once I decided I'd made the decision to bring her into my home, and she was going to be a part of my pack. And that's how the name Bristol stuck. And so that's my precious brindle boxer, Bristol, and how she became part of my family. So you are listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. And I believe we have Chad joining us now.
We do. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just telling the story of how my brindle boxer Bristol got her name.
Yes, I heard you. Unfortunately, he couldn't bring me in, so I just got to sit back and listen to your story.
My little girl. It's so funny because everyone thinks when I say her name is Bristol, they're like, "Oh, Bristol Palin," and I'm like, "No."
You're like, "No."
I had my girl way before the national scene knew anything about Bristol Palin. So, yeah.
Very nice. So, how have you been?
It's been crazy like always, but
Yes, I know the feeling. I have 5 puppies, as you know.
Well, I also know that those 5 puppies used to be in my house, so congratulations.
Exactly. That's why I said you know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I'm not there today. I have 5 crazy puppies that are at my adoption center, and we were a little short-handed, so of course the boss man has to step up and work. So it's a little insane.
Oh yeah, well, puppies, they're an adventure. Like it's.
That's one word for it. I have a few others.
Well, they're also pooping machines. I mean, that's the one thing about puppies that people don't realize. It's like to get them show ready and keep them show ready. So
There's
they
no such thing as a show ready puppy. I mean, you got to fluff and puff and do everything every 5 seconds with puppies. You know that.
Oh yeah. No, I know. It's really, and I still have 5 more for you. So as soon as
I know, yay! I'm so excited. Everybody thinks that it's just the funnest thing in the world to hold and love on puppies, and it is when you get to give them back to somebody.
Right.
But when you have to care for them 24/7, I mean, you weren't aware of it, but the day that we got the puppies from you, they were up till 1 o'clock in the morning, crying and howling and. Because it was a new place, new situation.
Oh, so they're like, hey, wait a minute. I had a different foster mom. Where's my other mommy?
Yeah, exactly. That was a fun time. But they've adjusted well now. So they're all, actually 3 have gotten adopted just this morning. So it's been pretty crazy.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good. I mean, they're so cute, though.
They're adorable.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be. I always say that puppies have to be that cute. There's a reason puppies are that cute. That's how they make it to adulthood. So I'm like.
So we have been off for 2 weeks. How was your 2 weeks? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
Everything was really good. I have
quiet?
to say, well, my house is never quiet.
Quiet enough?
Well, it was relaxing. So we always have a holiday party the day of Christmas, and so that evening, so we had a bunch of people over, and they were, of course, wanting to play with the puppies.
Of course
and
they do.
So it's like, no, you don't understand. You guys.
They're quiet. They're happy.
Yeah,
they've eaten. They're asleep. Leave them alone.
I'm like, you don't hear them crying right now. It's like babies. Why does someone want to wake up a baby? Like, why do you want to wake up a puppy? Like. As cute as they are, why would you want to wake them up?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's always fun coming over to, the rescuer's house.
But yeah, except for the rescuer is like, wait, no, they're not crying. They're not crying.
Yeah, we're usually just sitting in the corner drinking.
Yeah.
Sit around now with all the work we have to do when everybody leaves.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not just a matter of cleaning up after the people. It's like, okay, you have to get everyone. I mean, with puppies, obviously, they don't go out for walks. But, I mean, I have adult dogs also, and I have medical dogs and stuff like that. So they all have to get out and get their medications and, clean out wounds for some of my medical dogs. And it's like, okay, we've got our night routine. So even if even if everyone leaves the party, at 11 or 12 o'clock, I mean, you're still up then till 3 or 4 o'clock. I mean, party animal that you are,
Oh, yeah. And everybody thinks that, everybody thinks it happens to stop on Christmas and New Year's and New Year's Day. They think all the work just stops, and it doesn't. It never stops. It's literally 24/7 lifestyle. It's insanity.
Well, that's the crazy thing, because I know someone said, "Oh, but it's New Year's Day. It's a holiday." Yeah, it's a holiday. That part's true, but these are living beings. I mean, there is no holiday for them. I mean, they don't understand. They still.
Unless we stop eating and drinking and pooping on holidays.
Right, exactly. We should start drinking more on holidays. But, yeah, so it's like, well, you still wanted breakfast this morning, didn't you? I mean, do you think that these little hungry puppies are going to go without food today?
Exactly.
So it is interesting, though. And I think that's definitely something that a rescue person would understand, or someone who does this full time. Because even people in their families, when they go to their family function, I mean, they just have their regular routine with a dog or two when they come home.
Exactly.
So it's like when they go to work. But with us, it's a huge thing. I mean, because this is an all-day, full-time thing that we're doing here. So our routine goes from morning till night. And so, I mean, I think that's like when we try to sneak in a function, even a movie or dinner somewhere, it's like, okay, well, dinner is such a production, because like, oh, well, yeah, of course I showered this morning, but by 2 o'clock, I mean, there's no sign that I took a shower this morning.
And the great thing about it is when it's in your home, you can actually relax a little bit. Now, imagine you and I, who have to throw fundraisers and events to, raise money for our organizations. I mean, you go and you clean poop all day, and you feed animals, and you walk them, and you make them all happy, and then you have to go get ready, and you have to set up for a fundraiser, and then you have to be show ready.
Right. The person, you're like, okay, as a person, I have to be show ready. How am I going to do that? I know I went to your event, which was your holiday show, which was very nice, and it was very well done. And I was like, look, I'm in a dress and everything.
I know it doesn't happen very often that we get to dress up. There's not poop stains on our clothes.
Well, I can say there's been many of times that I got dressed to go somewhere, and then I decided I was going to do one more thing before I left, and that was like, oh, well, now I've got another thing, like changing my clothes again, so that I could go out in civilized company. So it is one of those things. It's just constant, it's a lifestyle. It really is a lifestyle. So I think that's something that a lot of people that are not in rescue don't really understand. And then, and there are those who do it as a fleeting thing, like, oh yeah, I'm going to rescue a dog. Well, you rescued a dog, which is fantastic. That's great. I mean, rescuing...
We don't take that away from anybody.
No, I think that anyone out there who wants to rescue a pup, I have plenty if you want to rescue some more. But it is a much different... I mean, when you are living the rescue lifestyle, it's a completely different world. And I think that was one of the key things you and I talked about when we first talked about doing the show, is to bring attention to people what the lifestyle of a person in rescue really is like. But you got a vacation. You were able to sneak in a vacation there. I'm so jealous.
I was able to sneak in a little vacation, but that doesn't mean my phone doesn't ring. That doesn't mean I'm not on, on everything. But yes, I was able to get away about 7 days with my family. We went skiing, so that was very nice.
I'm so jealous. I want to hear all about it, just so I can live vicariously through you.
Hey, you got to go to Italy for 2 weeks. That was over the summer.
Well, that was so long ago, I don't even remember it now. I need to go back again.
We don't even remember yesterday, do you? I don't.
Well, I'm sure I did something regarding puppies.
Exactly.
You are listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California, with the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inatlagunabeach.com.
Whether you're restoring a classic car, building a hot rod, or just bringing your daily driver back to like-new condition, Steel Rubber Products is your choice for quality automotive rubber parts and weather stripping. As one of the world's award-winning custom car and hot rod builders, Bodie Stroud prefers to work directly with Steel Rubber Products on his award-winning project cars and show vehicles. In addition, Steel Rubber works with top builders like Bodie to confirm the fit and function of its parts, as well as develop new products. So for rubber products that fit like the original, last a lifetime, and look like they should, you can't get a better product anywhere. If your dream ride sounds like this, contact Steel Rubber Products and enjoy a ride that sounds like this. Steel Rubber Products, a difference you can hear and quality you can see. Visit us on the web at www.steelrubber.com. And remember, if you want the best, you want Steel Rubber Products.
Call Steel Rubber Products at 877-269-2276. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling party savings. Book your wedding event or reception, your birthday bash, or a special event of any kind and celebrate at Angelo's and Vinci's. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our many festive banquet rooms. It's an incredible fun event you'll never forget. Food, music, and lots of fun. Call for the details, and don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch. Just $14.95. Minestrone soup, sausage and peppers, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins. Plus so much more, a chocolate fondue fountain, Zeppelis, cannolis, fresh fruit, champagne, and Junior will be waiting to make the omelet of your choice from our omelet bar. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List as one of the top 5 Italian restaurants for the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. Thin or thick, they're yummy. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So we were just talking about how I'm envious of your holiday vacation with your family. So
Yeah, I got to go to Canada. We went to Whistler. We went for Christmas. So there's lots of skiing, lots of snow, and lots of relaxation. Oh, wow, I can't even say the word. I can't even enunciate it. I'm so not used to it.
Yeah, it's not something that we usually associate with rescue.
I know. I actually got to lay in a bed and watch a movie while I was away. I was like, what? What is this?
Wow.
I don't know what this is like.
That's something. I vaguely remember something like that.
Right.
You know, or I saw it. Yeah, I heard about it. I don't even really recall if that was me anymore.
It's another life, another time.
Yes, indeed. So there was something that I know we've touched base about this on a number of occasions when it comes to rescue and dogs and if there's behavioral problems. And I have a close friend of mine that had a situation, and so I mean it comes up again. When to say when, and she got into the middle of something, and of course I want to keep her situation private because I mean she is my friend, and just because she's my friend doesn't mean her information should be, out there on national radio, but I will say that it came up again when a rescue organization has to make the call on a dog. And I know it's an extremely depressing situation and topic. But again, it brings me back to the reality. And she personally was injured in this situation, and pretty severely. And there's a different group that's not taken too kindly because she was okay. I'm trying to figure out how not to disclose too much information, and I'm not doing very good at it because I usually
No,
just
you're
say,
not, because I'm confused. I'm confused.
well, I usually just say what I think, and that's the problem because then I'm trying to keep her situation private. But we have to.
Well, no one's going to know this person. So give the situation, because you're not naming names, you're not naming organizations. So it sounds like a dog possibly bit somebody or got in a fight, and
she got in the middle and she got severely hurt. And I think that when that situation.
Well, let me ask you. So because I have experienced this, as you have, we all have it in a rescue, and then we deal with other rescues certain other rescues that have an understanding of what no-kill is, and they think that every human being, every animal can be saved. And I believe in giving second chances and sometimes third chances, but I don't believe, like human beings, that we all can be saved. Some of us are damaged beyond repair at times.
Well, and very often, I mean, people think that we're blaming the dog, and I don't blame the dog. I blame humans for failing them. And
it's just we don't have. There's no resource to help these animals, and they have crossed a line that now they're harming other animals or they're harming people. So they cannot live in a cage, and that's just my belief. And I think you're pretty on the same lines that it's not fair for them to live in a cage the rest of their life. It's unfair.
It is. It's unfair. I mean, because what do? Because then if you don't feel that they're safe to place in a home, even an adult home, then what life are you giving that dog? I mean, you have to take into consideration quality of life. Now, I mean, I do it with seniors. It's a very tough call to make. Once I look at a senior, I say, I've exhausted everything I can medically for this dog, and it's suffering. And so is that dog that is aggressive towards humans, even if it transferred aggression in a fight, whatever happened, it severely hurt a human being. Is that dog not also suffering? And I guess that's the question. I mean,
in my opinion, yes.
And you and I agree in that case. Now, whatever the circumstances were for that dog. I mean, look, there are some dogs that just mentally, no, humans aside, humans didn't fail it. There are some dogs that just have a chemical imbalance. Just like there's humans that have chemical imbalance. I mean, there's some of them that I wouldn't mind putting to sleep. Okay, so that I may be crossing the line with that one also, but but I meant it. Like, if you see, the guy that hurt Davy, I mean, ship him back to China or put him to sleep. I'm happy.
Either way.
Yeah. Well, one way more than the other, but I won't say which. So yeah, definitely, like, that's something to think about. And then there's other cases. And I had another situation this week that happened also. And so I want to kind of compare the two and just give a distinct difference to the audience so that they have, a clear idea of what I'm thinking. And I want to get your opinion on that too, Chad. And we'll come right back. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinns.com.
Do you have really pure water? Maybe not if you're drinking bottled water. Bottled water has some dirty little secrets. Plastic bottles come from oil products. The 5-gallon polycarbonate jugs contain bisphenol A, a synthetic estrogen that has raised health concerns. Bottled water dispensers quickly develop algae and bacteria and should be sanitized regularly. Have you ever cleaned your water dispenser? Are you drinking water containing algae and bacteria and synthetic estrogen? Now the good news. Pure Water Science can replace that dirty, outdated bottled water cooler with a high-tech water purification system. The Pure Water Science system features a stainless steel tank that constantly monitors water quality to guarantee your water is pure. It alerts you when service or filter changes are needed. Multi-stage purification removes organic and inorganic contaminants, and the patented self-sanitizing feature eliminates algae and bacteria while adding oxygen to your water. It costs less than bottled water without the bottled water hassle. No more bottles to lift. Just sanitize delicious water, hot or cold, from Pure Water Science. Call 818-502-4191. 818-502-4191.
Are you looking to increase the number of calls you receive at your business? Well, CRN Talk is introducing a new way for customers to reach you without having to remember your phone number or web address. Customers simply dial pound 250 from their mobile phones to say your business name. That's it. They'll be directed immediately to your phone line and receive a text message with a link to your website and phone number. It's that easy. It works so well that we're using it in this commercial. To sign up, dial pound 250 and say, "Help my business." That's pound 250, "Help my business."
CRN listeners, don't forget What's Cooking in Wine with certified wine educator and master sommelier Michael Jordan, coming your way every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio. You'll find out about the latest trends in wine, food, and the good lifestyle. And by the way, Michael Jordan can talk to those of you that are really into wine and those that are maybe just discovering wine. The great educator Michael Jordan, What's Cooking on Wine, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific on CRN.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So, Chad, we were talking about two different situations, and so I want to just make it clear for the audience how I see it and how I can look at two situations, and I look at it completely differently. So I had a situation this week where a dog in my care, I had him on leash, and he was sitting he was meeting a new person, and he was sitting obediently in front of the person. And like the perfect storm happened around him. Now, this is a little guy that I say little guy. He's not a little guy. I mean, he's 90 pounds, but he does a little nibble thing. Like it's almost like a sign of affection. He doesn't bite, but when you're petting him, he like goes nah, 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 with his teeth. Never bites down, but he goes nah, 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 nah. And so it's something that I've tried correcting him with, of course, but he doesn't bite. He does a little nibble. So now he had a situation where I had him on leash and he was sitting quietly in front of the other person, and they were, introducing each other and they were meeting. And then the perfect storm happened outside of that, where we had Santa Ana winds here, of course. And so the Santa Ana winds gusted up one of the other dogs hit their water bowl, and the water bowl went up. The Santa Ana winds caught the water bowl, and then the water splashed onto the other dog as the other dog was jumping up, because he jumps up like in a playful way. He jumped up. It frightened the person. The person then went back.
It sounds like a movie.
I know, right? And I'm telling you, it was the perfect storm. The person then went back, but his hands were out. So he went back, and the dog got his finger. Okay? So because he does the little thing.
Did he sever the finger?
He did not sever the finger, but he did.
No, that's why I asked. Because okay.
He scratched. He did break skin. So according to shelter protocol, it would be a bite, right? I mean, so this is a situation where he did hurt a human. I mean, the human, he was bleeding on his finger.
But not purposeful.
And, well, then right after that, what happened is then the dog sat back down, was sitting in front of him, and was looking up at him like, hey, like, so much so that I didn't even know that the breaking of the skin had happened. And then he was like, oh. And then even the person that he technically bit didn't even notice that it happened. And then he looked down and he saw that his finger was bleeding. And I was like, did he get you? And he's like, yeah, I guess he did. Right? So then I took the dog and I went around and I put him back up. Now, this is a situation where that dog, this was not him aggressively going after a human being.
Yes.
And him trying to attack or cause harm to the human. Like he sat down right after the event happened. He's sitting in front of him with his little tail, with his little nub, like, hey, what's going on, right?
But if you followed,
shelter protocol.
If you followed shelter protocol, you would have had to report this to the shelter. They would have put him on a 10-day bite hold.
Yep.
And then he would have had a bite record because of this, which is absolutely ridiculous.
And I agree with you. Now, this is a situation where, I mean, literally we put peroxide, we flushed it out, we cleaned it out, we put peroxide on it, because what happened is he got like about the knuckle part, and then you could see where he pulled his hand back, like it went over the front of the finger.
And at the same time, the gentleman or the person that broke skin, he also understood that it was not intentional and that it was not meant to hurt or draw blood.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't viciously, and he wasn't growling, he wasn't lunging, he wasn't going back after, he wasn't any of those things.
One thing I want to make sure is that we're not, letting people say, well, if a dog bites, don't tell anybody. If it truly bites out of an aggressive behavior, that's
completely different.
Yes,
you're
there's
right.
a reason the shelter has these protocols. And they're not necessarily bad, because the 10-day quarantine hold is actually for rabies purposes.
Right.
It's not for any other purpose than the rabies protocol.
Well, that does get to me, though, too, because if you know that the dog is vaccinated, because upon intake in the shelter, they're vaccinated, but that's a different topic we can get to later. But go ahead.
But the reason behind the mentality of the 10-day bite hold is the rabies vaccine. Because if for whatever reason this dog was a carrier of rabies and had actually been, already vaccinated against it, he could still be a carrier. And if he transferred that to a human, it takes about 10 days for rabies to show
in the dog. Right. Well, and I mean, I will say, okay, so I've seen two different things for this. I've seen a puppy. I've seen a pit bull puppy in the shelter, because with their little puppy teeth, went on a 10-day quarantine. A puppy got taken away from his litter mates because...
I chuckle because that's just the stupidest thing.
To me, it's absolutely ridiculous. But they literally... So now, and it was a pit bull puppy. So now you've got a pit bull puppy that is now on quarantine, and he has a bite record already, at 2 months old.
And by law, they have to... Anybody who adopts has to actually... be made aware of the bite.
Yeah, and if that dog bites somebody 5 years from now, he had a bite record. he had something that happened, when he was 2 months old. And to me, it's absolutely ridiculous because then he would be a second-time offender and would probably be, a pit bull puppy would be then probably deemed a dangerous dog and then euthanized. But, so, I think that's ridiculous. So I do think, and I understand why shelters have their protocol in place, but I think that you have to look at the circumstances. So we have two different situations. So we have a situation where there was two dogs that were fighting, and then that dog, whatever happened, there was a human there. That dog transferred aggression to the human, and the human was in the hospital. So now that other dog. So the two different situations. So you've got one dog that in my opinion, accidentally bit a human or accidentally broke skin, and you have another dog that intentionally was in a fight with the dog, but then transferred aggression to the human and didn't let up. You've got,
and here's the thing, because I've been part of a situation where aggression has transferred onto me personally. The thing is, if a dog is in control of itself, and I know we're at the commercial break, but if a dog is in control of itself and it transfers the aggression, typically a dog who's in control will stop once they start biting the human, and they'll realize that it's a different situation.
Exactly. We'll come back to this. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Minetti, and many of you out there suffer from skin problems. Well, I've been telling you for months how to solve that problem. It's called Herpantocin. It's the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out. It gets rid of all kinds of acne on your back, your neck, your face, so you can feel and you could look like a movie star. Herpantocin is a natural supplement. It was created by Dr. Wayne Diamond and his staff, and trust me, this really works. I've been on these supplements for over a year now and never had a problem. There is no reason in the world to wake up and be afraid to look in the mirror. You trust Larry. Just try it. Call 888-467-4200. 888-467-4200.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So we were saying the difference in, you've been in a dogfight. I've been in the middle of a dogfight also, a few of them.
Just one. I was going to say just one. I can tell you, I've been in many different fights that I've had to break up. And yeah, what we were saying was when aggression transfers from a dog to dog onto a human, if a dog has some control over itself and its aggression, it will realize that it has bitten a human. I've seen it many
once it
times.
Realizes, because, and it has happened to me where it's like, oh, I bit a human, and they release, and then they're like, and they go to look for the other dog. Even if there's a fight between the two dogs, they realize that they've got the human, they stop with the human, and then they go back, even if there's an altercation between them and the other dog, and go to try to get the other dog still, because they're still pissed off at the other dog.
Yes. Now, if they have true aggression and aggression issues and they're not in control of themselves, and then they transfer it to a human and they don't stop, that is a huge problem. And especially when they've done such damage where they put somebody in a hospital. And probably, I'm assuming if they put a human in a hospital, they probably put the dog in the hospital as well. So
Right.
At what point do you say as a rescuer, I can't handle this? Not only are you at risk, other animals are at risk. Now are you really gonna consider adopting this animal out? Maybe you adopt it to somebody who doesn't have another animal, but they're never gonna take it on a walk. They're never going to take it outside.
They're not going to have kids at the house,
They're never going
grandkids
to
at
be
the
around
house.
they're never going to be around anybody but that person. I doubt that. It's not humanly possible.
Well, and
So
how do you
now
know it
you're-
doesn't get out? I mean, how do you know that the dog, doesn't that a gardener doesn't leave a door open or a gate open if you're letting it out in the backyard to go potty? I mean,
Yeah, and don't think for a second that say I do adopt or you adopt an animal out like that someone else gets hurt, that they're not going to turn around and sue us and take everything that we've worked so hard. You're liable for that, and that's what I do find that a little ridiculous that we consider animals private property, but then you can be held liable if they turn around and do something. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
How you can consider
It's
a
private
pet
property when it comes to replacement value on your insurance, but then it's a whole different level of liability if the dog does something.
Yes, and that to me doesn't jive, because if you're going to consider a pet private property, then it should be across the board. You should not be able to be held
It's
liable.
a way that insurance companies does it. I mean, because insurance companies don't want to pay, and so they, it's like, oh no, you need extra this and extra that. I mean, I've got insurance up the wazoo. It's like, okay, and even with that insurance, it's like, they could jeopardize your whole rescue. I mean, a situation like this and everything that you're doing. I mean, how many lives would it affect for this one dog?
Yes.
And
so unfortunately, there are those decisions that have to be made.
Well, I think, and I gave the listeners two different scenarios. So both dogs are guilty of, technically, according to shelter protocol, both dogs are guilty of biting. Both of them are, and but you, as the rescuer, you have to look at the situation differently, and even differently than the shelter does, because the shelter, I mean, look, if this dog has 2 bites on his record, there's no question with the shelter if this happened within the shelter. Now, if you look at it from a rescuer's perspective, and I say, okay, now what happened here? Like, what are the facts? And as a rescue, we can look at it more open-mindedly. We don't just see like, okay, he broke skin, so that's a bite. We don't have to have such strict, I mean, we can actually
we're allowed to be subjective. We're allowed to put our the whole experience into our decision. And again, I know you want to finalize that thought that you had, but this brings me to an even bigger point that I do believe, and I've said it over and over, and I will say it till I'm some private organization is running all shelter systems, or separately in each city or county. That is why the animal shelter system should, in my opinion, be privately owned, privately handled, privately owned. Raise funds. If there's a county that wants to, have a contract with them, that's fine. But because you are, as a private entity, able to be subjective in your decisions, and that has to be done.
Well, and there's so much
county-
money in county that's wasted. I mean, we know that. It's in government. It's in government in general.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah.
I could get on my soapbox with that.
Well, I mean, and really, it's how many lives are being. I mean, how many lives are dying every year? 8 million go into the system. 4 million come out.
And beyond that, I mean, it's amazing. We have these puppies that are at the store right now, and people are giving us a little bit of a hard time for our adoption fee. But as you know, puppies take tons of time, tons of energy. Take away the expense of it. Time is money. I don't care what anybody says. So you raise adoption fees for puppies because it's a lot more time, a lot more energy, a lot more goes into it. You usually have to pay because shelters don't typically cover the cost of spay and neuter because you have to pull them out ahead of time before they're ever spay and neutered. So you have to cover all those costs.
Well, you've got vaccines, spay and neuter, microchip, and just food. Because, I mean, before they're available for adoption, you're looking at 8 weeks. So sometimes you're taking care of a mom. If you're not taking care of mom, then you're talking about bottle feeding, and so then you've got formula, and then you've got food for them once. So you're talking about 8 weeks, and not to mention all the time that it takes to clean up all that poop.
But what I can do with the money I have is far more. And the chances that these animals will ever come back are very unlikely. We're in a shelter system. It's very likely because people don't have the same value for an animal. There's many animals that come back that get adopted for the $20 or the $40 or the free that come back all the time. I always take my animals back, but it's less likely that they're going to come back with me.
Right. You are listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling party savings. Book your wedding event or reception, your birthday bash, or a special event of any kind and celebrate at Angelo's and Vinci's. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our many festive banquet rooms. It's an incredible fun event you'll never forget. Food, music, and lots of fun. Call for the details, and don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch. Just $14.95. Minestrone soup, sausage and peppers, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins. Plus so much more, a chocolate fondue fountain, Zeppelis, cannolis, fresh fruit, champagne, and Junior will be waiting to make the omelet of your choice from our omelet bar. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List as one of the top 5 Italian restaurants for the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. Thin or thick, they're yummy. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio. You're listening to CRN Digital Talk. Sorry,
Oh.
that's what happens
Yeah,
when
I was
I'm...
like, wait a second. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when I'm texting and thinking about what I'm texting about, and then I hear the music that I'm coming back in. So,
Yeah. Well, you're listening to CRN Digital, or you're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. I can't even.
see, there you go. You know what? You've been relaxing way too long. That's all I have to say.
I know. I have.
Yes, and it was quite an adventure last week. Richard was in here last week, and so we'll have to talk about that another time. It was an interesting.
Oh, did you guys actually do the live show?
We did the live show. It was an interesting show, I'll say that. So him and I have a strong difference of opinion on most things, but rescue related. So that was an interesting show. But I'm
You
glad
guys are
you're
still
back.
married. There's no divorce papers.
I didn't
drawn
say
up?
that. I didn't say that. But yeah. So, I am very glad that you're back, Chad. And so, welcome back. But okay, so I just want to wrap up what I was talking about in the segment and kind of what we were talking about in our opinions. So I obviously see these as two completely different situations. And
Yes, and I agree.
when a dog bites a human, so much so that human is going to the hospital for severe puncture wounds, multiple puncture wounds on a human being, even if it was transferred aggression, I see that much, much differently than a circumstance or a situation where, he got someone's finger and then sat down. He never once tried going back. He was sitting down. His tail was still going. There was no aggression. There was no growling. There was no, let me go back after the human. And so I see those two circumstances so completely different. And so in this situation, the human that was extremely hurt feels that it's in the best interest for that dog to be put down. Now the rescue is now blaming that person for what had happened. And that I'm very uncomfortable with. And I think that as a rescue...
Is the rescue going to pay for the medical bills and all of the aftercare that this human being...
Well, I think that's still being debated between the people. But I think, and the person that was fostering this dog, has the right to her opinion on this situation. She's a very responsible person. She's very dog savvy.
Let me ask you, has she fostered for this organization before?
No. Okay. No, she is not. And so now the other organization is now going again, like they're attacking her, like somehow she did something wrong. And
because if not, then they're liable. That's
well, and you have to think that there's a human element here, and even though Richard was here last week, and I disagree with almost everything that he says, you can't lose sight of the human element, and a human being was hurt.
But you and I both know that rescuers do lose sight of the human element. A lot of times because we're so aggravated with the human element many times.
Because we're frustrated with them. We're frustrated with them and we hate them at times. And I mean, I've even said many times I prefer dogs over humans. But you have to take into consideration a human being was severely hurt here.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I
once
agree
that
with you 100%.
happens, as a rescue, you have to be responsible, and you have to be responsible to the public. After that, what are you going to do with this dog? And it's an unfortunate thing, but there are times where you have to make the call because for your rescue and for other dogs and other humans out there alike, you have to make the tough call.
It's the right thing to do. I think we're at the end of our rope, aren't we?
We are, but I mean, I think I went on this subject a little bit longer, but I just want to say to everyone out there, every rescue group out there, please be a responsible rescue. And even though it's a tough call, one of the toughest call ever to make in rescue, if it needs to be made, then you need to be a responsible rescue and make it.
And I got to say, it's a new year. That means many more lives that you and I are both going to save and all the other rescues. So, like you said, be responsible, be smart, and do what you can to save more animals and keep the human element in there.
I'm looking forward to saving more lives with your group also, Chad. Happy New Year. You're listening.
Which is most important because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is some